That inner light is. I have arrived at ease again. Okay? So started with Namarupa, dismissed Namarupa and came to ease, and converted that ease into ease buddhi, and then went to that light without which ease buddhi is not possible, and that light is. So I have come back to ease, Sat. That Sat is the Sadekameva Swamyedamagra Asit. That is this Sat. You got the sequence? Did you see the pitfalls in between? There is only one important pitfall here. Because Namarupa, I do not even consider it as a pitfall. Namarupa is your mental imagination, it is. Your habit, it is. Only you have to change your habit. Like cigarette habit, one has to give it up. Similarly, Namarupa habit, one wants to give up, one can give up. You just don't recognize Namarupa. Don't pay attention to that. So, that is not a serious problem. That hurdle you can easily cross. But the hurdle, namely the Nayayika's hurdle, namely they propose a Satta Jati, and it is possible that you fall into that Satta Jati trap. If you have fallen into Satta Jati trap, oh, there is Ishvara everywhere. Ishvara is. Ghata is Jada. Ghata is Jada. Now Ishvara is a mountain, Ishvara is a river. If that is how you started, they are all Jadas, and your Ishvara becomes Jada. Therefore, that is a very danger in that. Without connecting it to the light of Atma, your Ishvara will become Jada Pa. Did you see the danger involved in that? I am amazed. Without that connection, Shankara, my God, he immediately Sat, Asat, that language, he converts it into Sadbuddhi, Asatbuddhi. He incorporates Buddhi there. If you see the Bhashya, once you have come to the Buddhi, you are safe. Because Buddhi is Jada, insentient, but there is a light that illuminates. This is Jada Buddhi. Therefore, as long as you are dealing with Buddhi, you are not very far from that light of Atma. But you don't come to Buddhi. You look at outside only and deal with the outside as the outside and try to connect to an Ishvara. I am not surprised by the Sankhyas connecting it to Pradhana, which is Jada. That is how Sankhyas made that fundamental mistake of looking at the outside and see Sukha Dukkha Moha. Sukha is Sattva-guna, Dukkha is Rajoguna, and Moha Tamoguna. And without taking the Atma light into account, they try to connect it to the origin, Prakriti, and they call it Pradhana. And their Pradhana is necessarily Jada. You cannot escape that, Jadatma. It is necessarily Jada. Whereas we do not do that mistake. We take the Jagat and we are not in a hurry to jump to Ishvara. If you take the Jagat and jump to Ishvara, your Ishvara requires some illumination. Okay? Because all illumination comes from here. Could you see the connection? I made my effort. It could be, sometimes it comes extremely well, sometimes it comes this way, that way. But I made the connection. Steps. Namarupa, dismiss, arrive at easiness. Satta Jati of the Nayayikas, dismiss, arrive at Sadbuddhi. Then through Sadbuddhi as a conduit, using it as an intermediary step, arrive at Chit and establish that Chit as Sat. Now the sentence is clear. That Sat in you the existence absolute in you, which is shining as the knowingness, Sat, which is shining as Chit, that is the Paramatma. Without that, can there be these cognitions of this is, that is, that is, this is? Can there be those cognitions? That is the question. They cannot be. You have already arrived at Paramatma, who is the one being, shining as the knowing, because of which all these cognitions are shining, because of which your blessed world is put in place. Now you can clearly say that Paramatma is the origin of this world. You got it? So that is how you have to carefully arrive at this Sat. So you see, I will just embellish it a little more instead of embarking into some other topic in the second line. I will just embellish a little more. You say, there is, I told you my first form example, there is. Now what you put afterwards doesn't matter. There is a part, a cot or a wall, just doesn't matter. There is a blank. In that blank you put whatever you put, that is unreal, Namarupa. Okay? There is, you examine, there is, that there is. Okay? If you hear something, there is. That there is, you know what it is? It is the sense of being. Okay? It is a sense. It is not being. If you say being, that is Satta Jati of the Nayayikas. There cannot be Satta Jati alone. There must be the sensing of Satta Jati. The Buddhi must be there. The sense of being. Because the part doesn't say, the part I, the part is. The part doesn't say. A conscious being says. Therefore, there is. It shows, it indicates or it implies the sense of being. Okay? Means a particular existence, you have sensed it, either through eyesight or ears or nose or whatever. You have sensed it. You have sensed it. I do not give a Namarupa. Namarupa is the image provided by the mind, which is dismissed. There is the sense of being. A blind man senses the being. A deaf man senses the being. A dog, it senses the being. There is the sense of being. Right? You know, you understand? Then you look at I am. What is that? The sense of being. I am. You examine the I am, that is, you can even say I is. The grammar is not important. I is. The headmaster, the high school teacher must have given me a slap. But now I am saying I is. I is. The sense of being it is. In fact, you say I and stop. Even then it is the sense of being only. I means I is, which is I am. I is. Now, there is the sense of being outer. Is it really outer? You called it outer with reference to the body line. Suppose your buddhi is not operating, then there is not there. You are sleeping, there is no there is. The point is, though you call there is the outer, that outer there is the sense of being which is apparently outer and the sense of being which is inner. I am. That is a sense of being. This is a sense of being. There is no jada anywhere. Because sense means there is no jada. Chetana it is. The sense of being. The sense of being. Himalaya. Astyuttarasyan Dishi Devatatma Himalayo Nama. That Himalaya, it is not a bundle of rocks, insentient bundle of rocks. It is the cognition of bundle of rocks. You cannot have a bundle of rocks without the cognition. Therefore, what you call Himalaya is the cognition of Himalaya. And what you call I am is this self-evident experience of one's own inner self. Therefore, there is and I am. I am is the inner, there is the outer. Both are based on the sense of being. You should understand, they are not based on existence, insentient existence. They are based on the sense of being. You see, suppose you say, what is based on insentient existence, I am is the sense of being. You made that division, you are Advaiti. You are Advaiti. And we challenge that there cannot be what is without the what cognition. I tell you, Ghata Jnana, is it in Ghata Desha or Hridaya Desha? Hridaya Desha. And there is no Ghata without Ghata Jnanam. Now where is your Ghata? It is located in that light only, in that sense only. Anyway, I made the point all right. So the sense of being, I am the inner and there is the outer, both are based on the sense of being. The sense of being. And the being shining as the knowing. That is the sense of being. There is no separation between being and knowing. The being shining as the knowing is the basis for I am. Not only for I am, it is the basis for there is. Got it? Therefore, that light, inner light, which is the being, the Sat, that inner Sat, the sentient Sat, the Sat which is shining as Chit, is the basis, the Sat Chit is the basis for your experience of I am, and also it is the basis for the sense of a world. You sense the world because of that, because of the being shining as the knowing. You sense yourself as an individual because of that being shining as knowing. Now you can say, Satpratyayah kinnu vihaya santam. You can ask the question, can there be a sense of I am without that Satchit? Can there be a sense of there is without that Satchit? Therefore, the Jiva as well as the Jagat have their origin in that Satchidatma. They cannot exist without that Satchidatma. Sapratyayah kinnu vihaya santam. So then where is this Satchidatma? It is the origin of everything, but then you have to locate it in some place for realizing it. Hridyesha chintarahito hrudakhyaha. I will come back. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Shanti Shanti